And now we're getting in some breaking news. The Indian Navy is all set to acquire its second nuclear submarine. Sources have told India today that the Indian Navy is all set to lease a second nuclear submarine from Russia. The two countries reportedly agreed on a lease of a second Akula-class nuclear submarine during the bilateral meeting in Goa. So that's the news that we have just received. This is a big boost for the Indian Navy. And let's go straight to India Today's executive editor, Gaurav Sawant, who in fact covered the BRICS summit. Gaurav, is this a result of those very successful meetings, bilateral meetings between the Prime Minister and Vladimir Putin, the President of Russia?
India had been in talks with Russia for some time to acquire a second Akula-class nuclear-powered submarine, and this will really make the Indian Navy extremely potent force in the Indian Ocean region. As you rightly pointed out, India already operates one INS Chakra, an Akula-class nuclear submarine. This would be the second. INS Arihant is already undergoing very extensive, sea trials to be inducted extremely soon into the Indian Navy. So this shows Indian Navy's power and power projection in the times to come. This, again, what sources are telling India today, would be for a period of 10 years. The lease would be for a period of 10 years. And this is approximately a $2 billion deal. This is apart from the deals that were publicly announced. India is all set to acquire. This is what sources are telling India today. Now, this is an extremely potent, a very powerful, silent and fast is how, sources in the Navy are describing this submarine. Though I must add that government is officially not commenting on this. Before the BRICS summit, the Russian media was talking about this, that this could be one of the big game changers along with the S-400 anti-missile shield for the Indian armed forces. But this is again a big game changer as far as the Indian Navy and India's maritime power is concerned, Avantika.
Oh, absolutely. And how exactly is this going to be so important, and how big a boost is this for the Indian Navy? We'll go straight to India Today's editor, Shiv Varur. Shiv, as Gaurav was also mentioning, and the information that we have, that we are already operating on one such nuclear submarine. There has been a slew of defense deals that have been signed between India and Russia. But how important is this bit of news for the Navy?
Well, Avantika, like Gaurav rightly pointed out, a nuclear submarine changes the game out at sea completely, because by virtue of being nuclear powered, a nuclear submarine can basically, remain in operations indefinitely, because it does not need to, surface or return to shore for refueling. And the only limiting factor is the endurance of the crew. And we all know that Indian submariners are among the best in the world. So this is basically a huge game changer. It adds an enormous advantage for Indian patrolling and, moreover, power projection capabilities, as well as something called sea denial. The whole prospect of sea denial is when, Indian submarines lurking out there in secret areas, provide a deterrent force, against anyone who might be intending to snoop, principally the Chinese and the Pakistanis, who have submarines already in the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea. Will think twice about actually venturing into Indian or nearby waters, because they will know that India will have two nuclear submarines patrolling these areas. Like Gaurav also pointed out, they're extremely silent, very potent. They carry land attack missiles. They are well armed as well, and they will be manned by extremely proficient crew. So this is going to be a huge boost for not just the Indian Navy, but also coastal and national security.
Oh, absolutely. And Gaurav, the last submarine was leased from Russia and commissioned in 2012. So how much time will it take for the second submarine to be, to be put into the Indian Army, to be put into service as well, in the Navy?
From what sources are telling India today, very, very soon. The crews identified. We have an experienced crew already operating INS Chakra, the first Akula-class submarine that India has leased. This, of course, is the second time. India had done INS Chakra once earlier for a period of 10 years. This is the second time this was done in 2012. And now Akula 2. So, the timeline, since it's a strategic weapon, government extremely cagey with information on this. Officially, they're not talking about it at all? Where will it be based? Where will it be lurking? All of this weapon platform is something that the Indian Navy does not talk about at all. But as Shiv was rightly pointing out, this means that India will have complete control of seas and deny seas to adversary should the need arise. The submarine fleet is the only fleet that's constantly at war because it's lurking in and around enemy territory constantly in the seas anywhere, and it could be hiding anywhere. So as far as our triad is concerned, this adds power to that. That's point one. And point two, this is an attack submarine. The kind of weapons it carries also attack at land, attack at sea. This gives the Indian Navy immense capabilities in the times to come for a period of another 10 years is what sources are telling India today. So this is being seen as an extremely important step.
Oh, absolutely. Extremely significant step for the Indian Navy. Gaurav and Shiv, thank you both so much.